That's how you like. Shalom, shalom. First off, getting all the praise to the Most High and His Son Yahweh Shai. Come to you on the Wednesday class. We already did a Wednesday takeover on it, man. Back to it. Yes, sir. But the name of the class today is called Increased Learning. Kind of go through on how to learn and how to increase yourself in the Bible. I also will go into how to stay in focus while you learn it, because it's easy to get it started and mess up. So we basically gonna go through the scripture. Come on, man. You know better than that. Little man.
Go around, MJ.
Go around.
Oh, you still like that?
Sleep itself. You got to increase your learning. With leather and belt and buckle. First precept we going into tonight, man. First precept we going into tonight is Baruch chapter 3, verse 14. Heavy like a shit. So you want to go walk around, little man. Walk around that way. You want to go over there. I can see it in your eye. Is it right there? I'll pray. Reach out and touch, man. Read it out.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 13. For if thou hadst walked in the way of God,
Read.
thou shouldest have dwelt in peace forever.
So guess what, man? This is going into our nation of people. If we'd have walked in the ways of God, we would have always been walked in peace. We wouldn't have to worry about going to these jobs. Oh, Lord. So tired of going to these jobs. That's why I try to get my boys to get them a job early. Because I need them to see how this life going to be. Because this world is not to just give you something, man. You're not gonna always have mama and daddy just give you money and give you everything you need, leading and guiding. Brothers and sisters got to understand, if mama and daddy died today, if mama and daddy died today, it's gonna be you. It's gonna be left up to you to carry the generation on. And we don't really think about that until, guess what? We got to be the one to stand up to do it, right? Well, read on verse 14,
Verse 14. Learn where is wisdom.
Read that again,
The book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 14.
Learn
where is wisdom.
So the Bible is telling us to learn where wisdom is at. Where is wisdom? Learn where is wisdom, man. This is where our mind's supposed to be at, to try to learn where wisdom is. Because one day you might be the forefront of your family, or you might be the forefront of a congregation, or you might be part of a congregation, and guess what? You might have to build another brother and sister up. So the Bible tells us to learn where is wisdom, right? Read.
Where is strength.
And to learn where is strength at, right? Read.
Where is understanding.
And to learn where is understanding at, right? Read.
That thou mayest know also where is length of days.
So guess what? If we learning these things, then we can learn where length of days, how we can increase our days. Why? Because if you don't understand, you can die before your time. Me, physically and spiritually. And it's something that we need to make sure that we can get ourselves wrapped around, right? Read.
And life.
And life, read.
Where is the light of the eyes?
So we're even going into the light of our eyes, man. That's going into understanding, right? Read.
And peace.
And to have your peace, man. This is where we supposed to be increasing ourselves and learning at all time. Because when we don't do it, we get ourselves caught up to a point that we can get ourselves really, really messed up, man. This is our lot. This is what the Lord expected us to do. And guess what? We're going to have to walk in this thing, right? Go to 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 1 right quick. Show you a little something. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 1. And then this right here concerning the congregation, but it's also concerning going into leadership too, right? And brothers just up and coming and going into leadership, they need to know how to hold themselves accordingly, right? Read that up.
This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 1. Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor.
So guess what, man? Guess what? A Christian will read this without understanding. But us, as being Israelites, we read this and we give the understanding of what this is going into. Guess what? This is us that's under the captivity. Guess what? You got leaders in your congregation. And guess what? People of the congregation are supposed to be reverencing the leaders. They're supposed to be getting what we just read in Baruch, understanding, wisdom, length of days, life, peace. This is what, guess what? If you don't have understanding of the scriptures to go in to get the understanding, the people of the congregation, of the leadership of the congregation, are supposed to be bringing this to the congregation. Brothers and sisters are supposed to be asking for plenty of classes. Hey, I don't understand this. Could you go into a class on this? Could you give me better understanding of this scripture? Everybody's supposed to be doing this, right? But a lot of times we really don't. Why? Because we get beside ourselves because this nigga can't tell me nothing, right? Or my husband can't tell me something. Or this sister. Come on, man. Watch this, though. We're going to let the scriptures give a better understanding of what is going on. Because we're going to read this in context, right? Read on,
that the name of God and his doctrine be not blasphemed.
Because guess what? We all up under this same yoke because it's going into bondage. But guess what? We got to reverence the leaders. Guess what? So the name of God don't be blasphemed. That we won't lean to our own understanding. Watch this. Read on.
Verse 2. And they that have believing masters.
So they that have believing leaders in congregations, man, read.
Let them not despise them. Because they are brethren.
Because we are brethren and sisters, right? Read.
But rather do them service.
Read.
Because they are faithful and beloved.
Because guess what? The people in your leadership are supposed to be faithful and loved. These are the people that's supposed to be. And this right here covers what? A multitude of things. It goes into 1 Corinthians chapter 13. This goes into charity. Right? Read on.
Partakers of the benefit.
Read.
These things teach and exhort.
These things to do what?
These things teach and exhort.
And these the things, guess what? The leaders of the congregation are supposed to do what? Teach and exhort the people. And also, the people are supposed to learn, and they exhort the next brother and sister so they can learn. And he's going to go into it a little deeper. Read on, verse 3.
Verse 3, if any man teach otherwise.
But if any man teach otherwise, right, read.
And consent not to wholesome words.
Read.
Even the words of our Lord Yahushua.
Read on.
And to the doctrine which is according to godliness.
Because the doctrine that they according to God, the godliness is going into Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20. And guess what? To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is no light in them. So we as leaders, we supposed to, guess what? Feed the flock of the slaughter, right? Read on.
Verse 4, he is proud, knowing nothing.
So guess what? If we not coming out the Bible, guess what? We are, our leaders. Us as leaders, we become what? Proud, knowing nothing. And guess what? We also teach the congregation the same thing. That's why brothers you can't escape no judgment from the Most High. You can't thinking that, well, I got enough understanding and I got enough knowledge that I think I could go, brother, humble down. Because a lot of times, brothers and sisters, we get in this walk and guess what we do? We get a little understanding of the scriptures and you think that little understanding going to take you for the rest of your life? It's not so. We need a lifetime of understanding to take us from to the end of our life or until your house shall come back to teach us, right? But read on now.
Verse 4, he is proud, knowing nothing.
Knowing nothing, read.
But dotting about questions
read.
And strife of words.
See, because guess what? This is where all of these things come into the congregation and into the leadership, man. You be dotting about words. Guess what? Got all these different questions about bullcrap that you know better than them. That's when you see people with spirits on them, and a lot of times brothers don't even know they got spirits on them. Hey, these scriptures talk when they say what they want, they say what they say, and it's not gonna change it, right? Read on up.
Whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmising.
Read. They're going into suspicion, read.
Perverse disputings of men.
And they go into, this is how congregations get out of order. So guess what? It's our job to guess what? To whoop the congregation back and shake with what? With the scriptures. We ain't whooping the congregation. We ain't gonna put the congregation back in the order by just running our mouth. We're gonna go to the scriptures. We gotta let God be true and every man be a liar. But guess what? The precept has to mean something to you. Because a lot of brothers and sisters, they read these precepts and they go right about their day, and these precepts never mean nothing to them. Because they'll continue to keep what? Get what? Some brothers and sisters continue to keep whoring each other out. Some brothers and sisters continue to keep, guess what? Smoking. Some brothers and sisters continue to keep lying, backbiting, murmuring, and they continue to keep doing this because guess what? Brothers bring out scriptures, and the scriptures don't mean nothing. But when scriptures start meaning something, guess what? You will change. Just like we tell any brother, if a brother was, say for instance, a brother was smoking. We tell them, if they give you $100 million a day, could you stop smoking? Hell yeah, I could stop smoking. But we say if you start smoking for the kingdom, that's too much. So you better take the $100 million over the kingdom? That's what the Lord said, man. Where your heart is, man, guess what, man? That's where your treasure is going to be. And a lot of people treasure ain't with the Most High, man. A lot of people treasure with their own self because they believe in themselves over the Most High. And the Most High God got a problem with it. That's why he said, it's going into verse 4. He is proud, knowing nothing, but dotting about questions and strife and words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railing, and evil surmising, right? They're going into evil suspicion. Now your mind warped. I think this sister over here talking about me. I think this brother over here talking about me. If you just worry about your own self, I don't give a damn what brothers and sisters got to say. You think brothers and sisters being here, man, we done had plenty of brothers and sisters come through this, walk through them doors, and they talk about us, about leadership like a dog. You think we going to stop our day because you talk about us? We don't give a damn. We still going to do the work, whether you here or forbear. We got to keep moving, man, right? Read on verse 5, Bob.
Verse 5, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds.
Read that part again,
Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds.
Of corrupt minds. Perverse disputing of men of corrupt minds. He said, she said. He said, she said. Now, guess what? Yeah, we seen the changes in the phases that the Lord take us through in this walk, and we see the changes in the phases that the people are around us. But guess what? But we also seen brothers and sisters go through each and every one of the attributes that we read. If you pay attention, look how these things is going in order how things go. First of all, what happened first? Pride came in. Thinking they know something, but they don't know nothing. Secondly, now they dotting about questions and stripes of words. Now you asking semantic questions, knowing you know better. Okay, the next part, whereof cometh another envy, cometh strife, cometh. You see how we seen step after step after step. Guess what? The Most High God take things back in measure, and He builds up in measure. The Lord said He does nothing without. He does everything in measure. But guess what the measure gonna be? A just weight. Right? Verse 5,
Verse 5, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds.
Of corrupt minds, read, because now you get into like-minded people ready to go right there with you. And here you go. Luke to Luke. Go ahead.
I was just going to tell that. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds. Y'all arguing like a mud. I got the perverse disputings. Both of y'all not the spirit. Both of y'all thinking corner. That's like what I can always say. The wife into it with the husband. Both of y'all going tick for tack. That's not going to work. Somebody got to be in the spirit. Because now you're getting perverse disputings of corrupt minds. Her mind corrupted and yours is too. Y'all taking it up with each other. If you in this truth, man, and you get in there and you get into a conversation with a brother and it go all like Luke to Luke, like left like that, and you ain't caught yourself and said, you know what, brother? You got it, man. Shalom, brother. I apologize, man. Can we talk like men and get this thing right? I mean, both of y'all got corrupt minds on you. I mean, both of y'all need to check y'all spirit, man. I'm telling you, we done seen it happen before. Cap almost went there. Cap had to check his spirit, man. Brother come with these corrupt disputings, man. And they'll entice you and make you go there until you catch yourself and say, well, hold on, I'm not like this guy. Hold on, man. Let me check my spirit, man. You know what, brother? You got it, man. If you get yourself into these situations and you don't know how to get out of them, or you can't find yourself getting out of these situations, you got to check your spirit, man, because you're part of the problem too. perverse disputers of men of corrupt mind. That means both of y'all got corrupt mind. Who go take the corruptness out of their mind? Who gonna be the one to stand up? Who gonna be the one in the spirit and say, you know what, shalom, brother, shalom, sister, we gonna stop this. That's what it's plain as day. Perverse disputers of men of corrupt mind. I mean, it's two people, right? I mean, or more. Go ahead, now.
Or 3 or 6 or 7. Read on now.
And destitute of the truth.
And they what up?
And destitute of the truth.
You see how he keep going in order. Now you destitute of the truth. Scriptures stop meaning what they mean all of a sudden, man. It don't mean that, man. Now all of a sudden, the review come out, them brothers going off. Now all of a sudden, then we see you go off. It makes no sense, man. Go ahead.
Supposing that gain is godly.
So they supposing that gain, okay, now you go over here, now you seem like you're gaining. Like it's godliness.
I show you better not take off, okay?
It just take a little time, man. Guess what? All praise to the Most High. We're going to keep, man, look at the Lord, keep putting His Spirit on us, brothers, man. We're going to keep trimming this fat, man. Guess what? We're going to get away all the dead leaves so this plant going to grow, man. Guess what, man? This is the season for a green thumb now. We're going to have to get rid of these dead leaves, man. There ain't no way around it. Guess what? If I become a dead leaf, hey, I pray the Most High, the congregation, vote together and get me up out this mud. Because I don't want to be a hindrance to the nation. And nobody in Israel should be wanting to be a hindrance to the nation. But guess what? There's a lot of brothers and sisters that stick around and they'll do it.
Don't give a damn.
And don't give a damn to come to, like the devil said, like the devil, to kill, steal, and destroy. Right? Read.
Supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself.
So from such, now they withdrawing themselves, right? Let's go to Sirach chapter 20 right quick. Say gain is godliness, right? That was pretty heavy, right? Read this out. 20 and verse 9.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 20 and verse 9. There is a sinner that had good success.
So it's a sinner that got good success, read.
In evil things.
In evil things, though. He ain't got good success in good things. He got good success in evil things. Right? Read.
There is a sinner, Salaki. There is a sinner that had good success in evil things. And there is a gain that turneth to loss.
So now it's a gain. Guess what? And it's going to end up, you see like you win it and it turned to loss. Why you think so many drug dealers go to jail? They got good success, then it turned to loss. Now they need everybody. Guess what? People right here thinking that you can come into anybody's congregation and pull people away or whatever. And you seem like you're doing it. It seems like you're winning. You're winning. It's just a time. You know, thing is, you got to think back on how, when you first got in this truth, on all the people that told you the good stuff and all the people that told you the bull crap. Think about this. And a lot of brothers really don't think about it. I know the person that was telling me, the first person that ever told me about the truth, guess what? This person ain't in the truth no more. But he had some good stuff to give me. But guess what? The brother couldn't get out of his own way. And then he started like, dang, bro, you still doing that? Yeah. He's like, man, I'm on something higher. No, you ain't, bro. No, you ain't. You done lost yourself, man. You done forgot your first love, right? Jump down to verse 22.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 20 and verse 22. There is that destroyed his own soul through bashfulness.
So guess what? Some people can destroy their soul through bashfulness. It's not just a person that's all talk and ready to go this and that. But some people can destroy themselves through bashfulness, right? And then I pull the scripture plenty of times, man. Read.
And by accepting a person, overthrow it himself.
Because now, guess what? Now you all easy going. Now this easy going person getting overthrown. Now you right there with the rest of them. You could have stopped, but guess what? You didn't want to take the way out. You was just bashful enough. Now you stuck up in the middle of it, right? But read on.
Verse 23. There is that for bashfulness promise it to his friend, and make it him his enemy for nothing.
That's just going into a bashful mind, man. Person that like to get over on folks, man, right? But watch this though. Read
verse 24. A lie is a foul blot in a man.
So a lie is a foul blot in a man. So if a person like say people going into this walk, they lying, that's a blot to a man or a woman, right? Read.
Yet it is continually in the mouth of the untaught.
So guess what? This is continually in the mouth of an untaught. A person that study giving these broken promises. And you study lying after line after line, and you guess what? You being led by a lie. And you'll tell another person a lie, and he'll tell the same person the lie that you just gave him, and now all y'all believe in the same lie. Right? But read on.
Verse 25. A thief is better than a man that is accustomed to lie.
He says a thief is better than a man that's accustomed. Dang, the Lord said a thief is better than him. Right? Than a man that's accustomed to lie, right? But read.
But they both shall have destruction to heritage.
So both of them going to be destroyed, though, anyway. Though, read on.
The disposition of a liar is dishonorable. And his shame is ever with him.
So guess what? Brothers can go from camp to camp to camp to camp all they want to, man. You still going to be a liar. A lie is going to be a lie unless you change that lie. Unless you change the being a liar, right?
That's right.
Verse 27.
Verse 27. A wise man shall promote himself to honor with his words. And he that had understanding will please great men.
Read on.
He that tilleth his land shall increase his heat.
So he that tilleth his land, he that studies his Bible, going to increase your heat, man. But read on.
And he that pleaseth great men shall get pardon for iniquity.
So guess what? He that pleases, that's going into the forefathers, the people that's in this Bible, right? They see, okay, this brother doing the work. But read on.
Verse 29. Presents and gifts bind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove.
Because guess what? There's a lot of people. That's why you see TD snakes. That's why some of the brothers even in this truth, they get hey, these gifts destroy a lot of people's heart, man. Gifts ain't got to come by money. Gifts can come by swelling words, giving brothers extra t-shirts, garments, give brothers anything. Gifts can come all kind of ways, man. Right? And it binds the heart of a lot of judges, man. But guess what, man? I don't give a damn. Brothers and sisters do whatever they want to do to try to help brothers out. Your work, your understanding, your lot, all these things show who you are in this truth. You can say, well, I know I ain't, but then your actions show something else. Well, I know I ain't, but then your actions keep showing something else. Stop saying what you saying. Your mind thinking that you are, but your actions not showing that you really doing this, though, right? This is how we get in trouble, man.
Let's get a precept real quick. Let's go to the law. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 19 real quick. Like I say, even Sirach was quoting this from the law. Make sure brothers write that precept down. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 19. Thou shalt not wrest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons. Neither take a gift. For a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous. So even in going in there, brothers have to watch out for that. Sisters have to watch out for that. Because I know a lot of times we know sisters are the weaker vessels. Sisters, and some sisters in the truth even know that. So they'll try to give you a little gift. They'll try to get in smooth and plant little certain things. Even with the brothers, like I said, with the extra t-shirts, with anything, man. Brothers and sisters have to watch out for that because that's the spirit that can jump on you. Go ahead, Op.
Big con on it. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians 5 and 10 right quick.
As I said, don't get us wrong. There's nothing wrong with getting brothers and sisters gifts. But the wicked comes in when it's an agenda behind it.
Exactly. That's what it's always about. That's just like I was on phone talking to a person earlier, and I told them, I said, you know what? And they was like, damn, you one harsh ass man. It is what it is. I don't give a damn. Cause just like I tell somebody all day long, I have no problem about killing. And I tell everybody this. Why? Because guess what? If you get put in that same position, guess what you would? You'd be just like me. You ain't got no problem about killing either. Because somebody was trying to kill you, and then the only way for you to get away from him or her, you had to kill them. Guess what you would do? You can say it's harsh, but reality is reality. I think about different stuff, and guess what? I can't lie to myself. Some people, Esau want everybody to lie to them, to themselves. They want everybody to lie to themselves. Ooh, I can't believe he said that. No. But guess what? One thing about Esau, they can shake your hand, and guess what? They ain't got no problem about killing you.
Right.
They ain't got no problem about killing your children. They ain't got no problem about killing your heritage. They ain't got a problem about, guess what? They ain't had a problem about stealing your whole, stealing everything. They whitewash everything, man. But guess what? And they put blackface on everything but Jesus. Sad, man. But we don't think about these things until shit just really happens. Go 1 Thessalonians 5 and 10, man.
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Who died for us,
Uh-huh.
that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him.
He said, who died for us? What person in the Bible died for us? Because we know what Paul didn't die for us. We know Barnabas didn't die for us. Neither the prophet didn't die. Who died for us, man? Yahushua died for us, right? Read.
Verse 11. Wherefore, comfort yourselves together
So guess what? This is why we learn the Bible. So we can comfort ourselves together, man. Read.
and edify one another,
Uh-huh.
even as also ye do.
So guess what? Do we edify each other in righteousness, or do we edify each other in the wrong way? That's why it's different. We should be praying. We should be praying for different stuff, man, from the Most High. We should be praying for, watch this, go to Psalms 25 right quick. We should be praying for different stuff, man. We should be praying for the Most High God to lead us and guide us, right? At all times. Psalm 25 and verse 4.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 25 and verse 4. Show me thy ways,
Mm-hmm.
O Lord.
Uh-huh.
Teach me thy paths.
So guess what? This is something that we should be asking the Lord. Show me your way. Teach me your path. But guess what? We go on a day-to-day. We don't ask the Lord for nothing, man. And we got a God that lifted up the whole sun and put it down, and now he got it night again. A God that can do anything, man. He can translate light. He can pick up fire. He can tell you the weight of fire. He can rain fire from the heavens. But we don't never ask God for nothing but bull crap. But guess what? Even as King David said, show me your ways. He said, and teach me the path, right? Read on.
Verse 5. Lead me in thy truth.
And lead me in the truth. This is what we at. We in the truth. We should be wanting to get led in the truth the right way. Some brothers and sisters don't, guess what? Some brothers and sisters don't want to be led in the right way. They want somebody to agree with them. Whatever bull crap that I got, agree with me and I'm good. We'll come right out of class and guess what? Brother and sister come right with some bull crap. Every time. Because they get beside themselves and they cannot shake a spirit that's on them. We ain't gonna make no mistakes, man. We're gonna go to the scripture. We're gonna prove all things every time, man. Read on now.
And teach me.
It said, lead me in thy truth. Not my own truth, Lord. Not, well, let me tell my truth. No, we want to be led in God's truth, right? And he said, and guess what? And we want to be taught by God, man, through this Bible, right? But read.
For thou art the God of my salvation.
Uh-huh.
On thee do I wait all the day.
So on thee, we're going to be waiting for the Lord all the day, right? So once we get taught, jump over to Psalm 32 and 8 right quick. So once we get taught, guess what the teacher's supposed to do next? Right?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 32 and verse 8. I will instruct thee.
So guess what? The Lord said he will instruct thee. So while the Lord instructing us, now we can be able to teach other people, man. Right? Read.
And teach thee in the way which thou shalt go.
Uh-huh.
And will guide thee with my eyes.
So guess what, man? Who don't want to ask the Lord, Lord, teach me, Lord. Instruct me in your path. So the Lord's eyes can guide you. So do you want your own eyes to guide you, or do you want God's eyes to guide you, man? Bro, I don't know how y'all feel. I rather choose God guiding my eyes than for me to guide my own eyes, man. It's been several times. I know Ocean know for damn sure what I'm finna say right next. I done been on the road, man, Been in all kind of snowstorm, ice storm. And I said, Lord, I can't drive this truck, man. I'm talking about, man, and it's like been heavy. Like, hey, you got to keep a composure. Lord, you got to take this, man. I can't do this. I can't do it. Guess what, man? You see wreck after wreck after wreck all around you. Guess what? The Lord leading and guiding you. Because we don't call on him. Because when we really in a situation, we like to call on him. But guess what? When you sitting there with your husband, or you sitting there, you reading the Bible, or you sitting there watching TV, Lord, a woman should be like, Lord, lead me and guide me. Put the words in my husband's mouth so he can guide me the right way. You complain about him all the time. Well, won't you ask the Most High God to put words or put the understanding in his heart so you can be guided? You complain about your wife. Won't you ask the Lord to put the understanding in your heart so you can be able to guide your wife? But we don't do that. Why? Because guess what? We think that we can do it. I got it. I got to understand it. No. Sit your ugly ass down, man. Simple as that. Because you don't know nothing. And guess what? We don't know nothing unless the Lord guide us. I don't care how people feel, man.
Let me get a precept real quick. Let's go to the book of James, chapter 1, verse 5. And that's something that brothers and sisters got to continually to pray for. Pray for endurance in this walk. Pray for discipline in this walk. Pray that the Most High God guide your spirit in this walk. Like the ark is going over. We also want to pray for wisdom as well. This is the book of James. Go ahead, Ark.
Book of James, chapter 1, verse 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. They give it to all men liberally.
So when you ask God, that means you're praying to the Most High God. So if you're lacking wisdom in anything, not just understanding of the precepts, but on how to properly guide your spirit, on how to deal with your wife, on how to have patience with your wife, sisters on how to guide their mouths, sisters on how to guide their spirit. All these things you can ask and pray for, and the Most High God will give it to you liberally. Read on.
And upbraid it not.
And he don't take these things away. Read on up.
And it shall be given him.
And it shall be given him. But you want to make sure that you're in the right spirit when you're asking for these things. That's the thing. And like we say, hey, closed mouths don't get fed. How you expect to overcome certain things if you're not praying that the Most High God give it to you?
We read verse 6.
Bring it out.
Mm-hmm.
But let them ask in faith.
In what?
In faith.
In faith. Read on up.
Nothing wavering.
So we can't waver in our faith. If you believe, if you know it's a certain spirit on you, you got to believe that the Most High God can take that spirit off of you.
That's right. Like I said, you can't be wavering in anything.
That's right.
You gotta be pushing toward the mark in all aspects of your life, man. How you gonna ask the Lord for something and you ain't doing what you're supposed to hold up your bargain?
That's right.
For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, man, that's what we gotta do. Go ahead, man.
Dang. All praise to the Most High, man. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 1, man. Just like you saying, like we going into, you like, brothers got to want to be led by the Most High. Sisters got to want to be led by the Most High. And a lot of times we get our mind wrapped about, and we really don't want to be led by the Most High.
I couldn't think of what I was trying to say, but that's exactly what it is. Like we say, brothers and sisters come to counsel, but they really don't want counsel. You say you want to be led in the spirit, you want to be led in your household, you want your marriage to grow and prosper, but do you really want it to? Is that what you really want? You can't be wavering in this thing, man. People want counsel just to be there. They don't want counsel for the truth. Can't do that, man. You gotta really want it, man.
And the thing is, brothers and sisters can go in the sin, and they think that them being in sin, like they can, I got another path that I could grow on, because no, bro. Get up out of that sin first.
That's right.
Have a pattern of good work first, then you increase after that. You can't be in the midst of you, the Most High God,
increasing you in sin.
In sin, it's not gonna work. People keep going to every time somebody get into sin, they'll go into something. And guess what? Hey, brother, leave that alone, brother. Guess what? And here you go. Man, them niggas wicked. Man, them niggas trying to run something. No, ain't nobody trying to run nothing. Bro, you in sin. You got to show the Most High God a pattern of good works to get up out of there. Right? Go to Proverbs 12 and 1. Watch this. You get there, I'll read it. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 1.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12 and verse 1. Whoso loveth instruction, loveth knowledge.
So, if you love instruction, this is how you learn from God. You get your knowledge from God. If you don't want to be, you don't want no instruction, you ain't gonna learn nothing. But guess what? I bet you take your butt over to the Esau job. If you don't learn his instruction, your butt gonna go. Every rule that he got, you're gonna be compliant to that rule. And guess what? If you ain't compliant to that rule, you got to go. So guess what? You see brothers and sisters, they get up in here, they be in their feeling because brothers set rules down, and guess what? They ain't compliant to the rules, and we tell brothers, hey, get up and get on out the door. Guess what? Esau tell you ain't said a damn thing to him. You just gonna move on to another job. Guess what? But it is what it is. Read verse 1 again.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12 and verse 1. Whoso loveth instruction, loveth knowledge.
So if you love instruction, you know you love knowledge, man. But read on.
But he that hateth reproof is brutish.
So the Lord said, if you hate to be corrected, you a brutish person, man. We should be loving to be corrected, man. Even we got to break our children from thinking like that. We got to break, guess what, ourselves from thinking like that, right? Just like shit, brothers and sisters, you see, you got younger children, yeah, they got opportunities. We can break this spirit off of them. But guess what? That's why the Lord tells us to train a child in the way they should go, right? Yeah. But when they full grown, you can't. Hey, that spirit already on them. They got to be able to, they got to be able to get themselves together. But read on.
Verse 2. A good man obtaineth favor of the Lord.
So a good man gonna obtain favor of the Lord, but read.
But a man of wicked devices will he condemn.
So, but if you got wicked devices, and you got wicked devices going to many different things, man. Wicked devices going to many different. That's going into wicked for gifts, conversation, thoughts. Wicked man, wicked devices go many different ways. Verse 3.
Verse 3. A man shall not be established by wickedness.
So guess what? When you in the middle of your wickedness, the Lord is not going to establish you, man. He just not going to establish you, man. A man is not going to be, the Lord telling us plain, a man should not be established by wickedness, man. Read.
But the root of the righteous shall not be moved.
But guess what? If you got the root of the righteous, you shouldn't be moved by these different doctrines, by these different things, because brothers and sisters got to learn how to deal, man. How to get themselves in a... We should be looking at Yahushua, right? Go to Matthew 11:29. We should be looking at Yahushua, right? Should be looking at him and how we should be rolling, right? Matthew chapter 11, verse 29. Verse 28.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11 and verse 28. Mm-hmm. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden.
So guess what? The Lord said, come to him. We know, okay, you in this truth and you laboring in the truth. Why you not coming to him? This is the problem that he said, you laboring in this truth, come to me, right? Man, this thing is just tough, man. It's just hard. The Lord said, well, okay, you laboring, come to me, right? Read.
And I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you.
He said, take his yoke upon you, upon him, read.
And learn of me.
And he said to do what?
And learn of me.
But guess what? This is too heavy for a Christian. Christ said, learn of me. Why is Christ telling us to learn of him, man? He has the ultimate doctrine. Nobody's doctrine is better than Christ's doctrine, man. He said, learn of him, man, right? Read.
For I am meek and lowly in heart.
No, he puffed up.
For I am meek and lowly in heart.
Christ said himself, said he's meek and lowly in heart. How in the hell we think we going to be anything much more than that? When we come into this truth, we going to have to stay meek and lowly in heart, because if we get puffed up, he got a way to bring us right back down.
That's right.
Right? But read on.
And ye shall find rest unto your soul.
And guess what? This is how we get an ease. You want to ease this burden off us while we're in this truth. It's giving us the understanding. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 through 30 is giving us the understanding. This is how we get we want a break. Give me a break. Just go to break. Break you up a piece of your house, shot. Not no Kit Kat, man. Right? Verse 30,
Verse 30, for my yoke is easy, and my burden is light.
Because the things that you ask him is easy. It's light, right?
But you got to be right, man. You got to. We get a precept. Let's go to Proverbs 14. 14 and 6. He said, my yoke is easy. But you got to be in the right spirit, man.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and verse 6. A scorner seeketh wisdom
And what?
and findeth it not.
You won't find it if you're not in the right spirit. If you're not doing the right thing, if you're not going to find it what you're looking for, man. It's not going to come to you easy. But read on.
But knowledge is easy unto him
But like Christ said, my yoke is easy to him that who?
that understandeth.
He that understandeth, man. Like you said, Christians don't understand it. You got to fall out to Christ. Like I said, you got to fall out to him. Bring your labor to the Most High God. Find out, learn about him. Take his yoke. Those that have understanding on that, it's going to be easy for you to find wisdom. But when you're not doing these things properly, a scorner will never find this wisdom. People, we wonder why we can't gain knowledge, right? Wonder why we can't obtain more precepts. Huh? Wonder why we just can't seem to get this. It's because you got to look at yourself, see where you're at. See if you're a man or a woman of understanding. See if you're actually trying to take on the yoke of the Most High God in Christ, man. Right? We really trying to get that, or we really trying to get it. A man of understanding, he gonna be easily found of the truth, man. But when you're a scorner, you won't be able to find it. So we have to be in the right spirit, brothers and sisters. Go ahead,
Big con on that. Let's go to John chapter 7, verse 16. This is why the Lord. Why do you think Christ talks so boldly? Because guess what, man? He's the Word of God. He is the doctrine that we're supposed to learn, right? John chapter 7, verse 16. This is why he's saying it.
This is the book of John, chapter 7 and verse 16. Yahweh answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me.
Because guess what? This is why Yahweh is telling us to learn of him, man. My doctrine ain't mine. Guess what? When we in this Bible, when we teaching this word, when we trying to get brothers and sisters, our doctrine ain't ours. This is not our doctrine. It's just the one that sent us, man. It's the one that, hey, did you know that the Lord finna put you in this truth and finna tell you to go teach some people that you don't even know and go out to the corner every week to keep on teaching? Did you know that? I'm asking, did you know that? Could you even see that for yourself? We can't even. Could y'all even think that, sister? Could y'all even know that the Lord's gonna open you up to learn something like this? Put something on you. Guess what? Some sisters go through stuff that some sisters, guess what? If they had half the yoke that you was on your neck, guess what? Sisters be out of the truth. If some brothers had half the yoke, the stuff that you go through in your life on a day-to-day, brothers will be out of the truth. Everybody can't take the same yoke. Everybody ain't got the same burden. But the Lord said, guess what? We got one God and we got one King. And the only thing we got to do, if it's too heavy for us, just, hey, Lord, could you help us out? Could you help me out? This is kind of hard, Lord. I mean, this is hard on me for real. But do we really lean on him, right? How shall I read verse 16 again?
This is the book of John, chapter 7 and verse 16. Yahweh answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me.
He said, this doctrine is the Most High God's doctrine. This ain't mine, right? Read.
If any man will do his will.
He said, if any man do, he didn't say my will. He said, if any man do his will, man, read.
He shall know of the doctrine.
And he gonna know of the doctrine. If you in this truth and you keeping the commandments, you gonna know the right doctrine. You gonna know, yeah, this is the right doctrine. I'm in the right space. Christians don't know the right doctrine. That's why they can be led astray. That's why they can go sin against the Most High God, eat pork and do all kind of stuff, because they don't know the right doctrine. Because they refuse to do the will of the Most High God, right? Read.
Whether it be of God or whether I speak of myself.
So whether it be of God or whether he said whether he speak of himself. Why you think brothers in here brothers teach, man? I'm talking about on a day-to-day basis trying to get build brothers and sisters up, man. We don't.
Verse 18. What you want? Verse 18. He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory.
Read that again, Al.
He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory.
Guess what, man? Who in here have ever heard one of the captains in here? You be like, man, dang, that was a good class. And what did the cap say? Every time. Because if you hear a brother saying it, oh yeah, man, You
know
out
how
of this.
you know how I do,
Man,
man.
you know I had to deep dig. I had to
You know what I'm saying? Precept Prince over here, man.
deep for that one, man. You know, I was in the lab, man, going hard, man. You know, the spirit just came up on me. But Christ is telling you himself, if you find me to speak in another doctrine than my father's, shit, don't go out. We tell brothers and sisters all the time, don't believe our report. Go back and study it. Just because we tell you a precept, that means just go back and look at it, man.
And that's a prime example on how to stay humble and meek in this thing, man. Christ was filled with all wisdom and understanding, but in that understanding, hey, he kept that spirit of being humble and meek.
That's right.
That's something that brothers, even sisters as well, have to learn to obtain as brothers and sisters grow and is true. Because that spirit of hop on, hey, that's why we prepare brothers, even for brothers that up and coming teachers. We let brothers and drill brothers on certain precepts, going over pride precepts, giving them understanding by experience. Because we know, like, hey, you have to check that spirit. Damn, man, I got these classes, man. I just got to bring it out. Bring this out, boy. This is the code. Brother, you have time for that thing. Be patient in this walk,
You
man.
definitely will.
I would say this truth is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You want to make sure that you're building yourself up continually in this walk. Go ahead,
Man, there's so much unlearned brothers and sisters out here, man. You definitely go get your time, man.
Yeah, right.
It's so much foolery and mock and just all kind of stuff out here, man. Y'all brothers gonna definitely get your time to put this word out there. Probably, guess what? When they go there, are you gonna be ready?
Yeah, just like
When they
yeah.
go there, though.
I'm finna throw a shot. Just like you get a call during the week, man. No brothers ain't listening. Yeah, you think? Now it's your turn. You think? You think? Hey, you think? Guess what? That's why we try to tell brothers and sisters get in order, great brothers, especially because when you get your turn, guess what? Guess what?
It's gonna be your turn.
It's gonna be your turn, and you're gonna see. You're gonna be like, guess what? You're just gonna be sitting back like, man, it is. That's a shot at me. Yes, it is. Guess what? Hey, I say that about me. I was like, I didn't listen. At first I did, but then I started seeing. It's like over and over. Guess what? And it's just guess what? It's just gonna get worse and worse and worse. You're gonna have to keep your spirit in check all the way through though. Still gotta keep your spirit in check. But watch this, we're gonna read on though.
Verse 18. He that speaketh of himself seeketh his own glory.
I'm gonna read.
But he that seeketh his glory that sent him, the same is true.
So when we seeking God's glory, the same is true, man. Read.
And no unrighteousness is in him.
And no unrighteousness is in him, right? Verse 19.
Verse 19. Did not Moses give you the law?
Man, well, we're going, okay. Okay. Let's read this one more time, man.
Did not Moses give you the law?
Said Christ himself said, did not Moses give you the law, man, right?
And yet none of you keepeth the law.
But yo, what, man?
Man, Christians.
That's a big shot, man. That's a big shot, man. That's a big shot, right? Read.
Why go ye about to kill me?
So guess what? And he said, why? So Christ said, why you go about to kill him? Guess how do Christians kill Christ? With their doctrine.
That's right.
Going against God's laws. Because guess what? If he telling, this is how Christ is speaking through the Most High God speaking through Christ, giving them an understanding like, look, this is my word telling y'all what I'm telling him to tell y'all. Moses gave you the law. Who was the law? Christ. Moses gave us Christ from the beginning. Of the 12 tribes, Moses gave us Christ. He gave us God's law, which is Christ.
What brother got the precept for doctrine? What's the precept? Real quick, man. Say it again, out. All praise, man.
Good doctor.
That's right.
And Christ said they seeking to kill me.
It's just like he told Saul. He said, Saul, why persecuted thou me? Saul was out there putting the people, you know what I'm saying? Ananias told him, look, man, this brother out here, brother did some foul stuff. But Christ is saying, you persecute me when you're doing that. When we out here giving these brothers and sisters these fake doctrines, these wicked doctrines, man, telling them they can eat pork, just pray over it, man, you are persecuting Christ, man. They don't understand that, man. I said, for the start about that one, 19.
Let's go. Because we already know 1 John 3 and 15. There's so much hating going on in the church. It don't make no sense, man. 1 John 3 and 15, when it said, whoso hated his brother is a what? You know, guess what? And we taught to hate our brother because guess what? We was taught to I wish a nigga would. This is how we were taught. Why don't we say to ourselves, I wish one of these Edomites would? We never say that. We never say that. You can't play a song on the radio and say, I hate all these white folks, but guess what? You get on the radio and say, I hate all niggas. And they'll play your stuff every day. It makes no sense, man. Right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8. Start at verse 1. Get there, I'll read it.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 8 and verse 1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge.
So guess what? Paul said, we know we all got knowledge, right? Read.
Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifies.
So, but knowledge puffeth up, but charity is the one. What is charity going into in this aspect? Brother Ezra, what is charity going into the aspect? Brother Talk, what's this going into? What's charity going into in this aspect right here?
With love,
Huh?
with love.
If you ask me, you telling us.
Love.
It's going into love. It says love edify. What is love? God's laws edify. Man, to a Christian, it goes over the. You see, the person that's dwelling in Christianity, this always goes over their head, right? Because guess what? It cut them in the same verse because knowledge puffed up. Guess what Christianity do? They touch food. They touch anything in idolatry. Necklaces. They eat pork. They go against God's law. Guess what? Some brothers, there's sisters in this truth too. They do the same thing.
Man.
Get that knowledge puffed up. But if they was walking in charity, they wouldn't be walking in none of those things, right? Go ahead,
He said, now touching anything is offered to idols. We know that we all have knowledge. Why do we all have knowledge? So I got a precept. Why do we all have knowledge of things when we puffed up on, man? It's simple. What did Paul say? He's speaking to who?
Oh, those that know the law.
Because they know the law, man. We got knowledge of it because you know the law. He said, I'm speaking to them that know the law. You got knowledge on it because you know the law. It's simple, man. Really, it's real easy right there. That's it.
Keep it coming. Verse 2 out.
Verse 2. And if any man think that he knoweth anything,
So guess what? But if you think you know anything, read.
he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know.
So he know nothing as he ought to know. That's why I say, guess what, man? And I pray brothers, even some brothers that left up out of here. I pray them brothers get built up enough they can be able to lead and guide the rules or whatever, congregation, their household. I pray the sisters that left from out here. I pray all them brothers and sisters, man, stay in this truth, first and foremost, man. But you can't think you got knowledge puffed up thinking we're gonna work in this thing, man. It's not gonna work. I ain't gonna lie to the Lord, don't want to take your confidence away, but he don't want you to be puffed up, man. That's a difference between confidence and being puffed up. This ain't our show, man. This is the Most High God show. Even your house shot giving honor to the Most High, that showing that this is not my show. This is the Most High God show, right? Verse 3.
Verse 3. But if any man love God, the same is known of him.
So guess what? If you love God, guess what? People see the love of God in you. Guess what? But if you a bullcrap man, people know that you bullcrap. Just like everybody said, man, I can discern that evil spirit in that person. But you can discern the good spirit in that person. Guess what, man? If the people can see the good in you, guess what else people can see? People can see the evil in you too. Man, that brother right there lied on me, yeah. Guess what? Let's stop playing the game. If they can see the good in me, I promise you people can see the evil in me. Just like if I can see the good in somebody, I promise you I can see the evil in you too. There ain't no ways around it. Because like I say, but if any man love God, the same is known of him. You will know that this man really love God. By what? keeping his commandments. This is simple work, right? Go to 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 6. It's a simple work, but it's work that we supposed to be getting. Work we supposed to be understanding. 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 6. Let me get there.
This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 6. From which some having swerved have turned aside unto vain jangling.
Vain jangling, they just running their mouth, man.
Desiring to be teachers of the law.
So desiring to be teachers of, you see how it goes. It says desiring to be teachers of the law. Not just a teacher, but a teacher of the law, right? Read.
Understanding neither what they say, nor whereof they affirm.
Because guess what? There's a lot of brothers that do that, man. They don't understand what they say. Brothers be puffed up. Brothers be puffed up, man. Sisters be puffed up too. Why you think sisters run their mouth so much to their husband? Sisters be so puffed up, man. But then when the Most High God brings judgment on a husband sitting over there looking like, dang, Lord. Yeah, don't dang, Lord. She the one kept running her mouth, man. And guess what? That's why the Lord try to help. He give us a little power because he wants us to help them out. When she started running her mouth, hey, Lord, please disallow that. Please, Lord, disallow that. We got to be trying to disallow some of the stuff that they do because these women be in error like a mug. Because if you hold your peace, guess what happened? The Lord just heard her. And guess what happened? Yeah, it's his turn. It's his turn. But it's our job. But if you love her like Christ loved the church, you should be wanting to get her up out of that sin. Try to help her get through those things, right? Where we at? Verse 8. Verse 8.
Verse 8. But we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully.
Read that again.
But we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully.
Man, why do Christians not read that, man? Why do people in this truth not read that, man? It said the law is good if a man use it lawfully. That means, guess what, man? The Lord said, I got y'all a 613 round clip, man. Use it when it's time to use it, though, right? That's heavy, man. But guess what? But if you don't use that thing the right way, this is what happened. Go to Proverbs 16 and 18. There's always a flip side. If you don't use that law lawfully, this is what sets up in a person. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction.
First off, you get the pride. There you go before destruction, but read on.
And a haughty spirit before a fall.
Read that again.
And a haughty spirit before a fall.
No, you just see that all the time.
You see it all the time. Because guess what? We calling out, hey, spirit that be on brothers and sisters. The thing is, we can't try to help prepare the congregation or try to get the congregation in the right spirit if a brothers and sisters, they don't believe the laws, man. You can't get brothers and sisters in the right spirit if they ain't believing the law. If they ain't believing the Most High God, right? Because the Lord said when you start putting yourself above what God telling you, now you exalting yourself, right? And the Lord never wanted us to exalt ourselves, man. Go to Luke chapter 14 and verse 11, man. The Lord never wanted He never wanted us to exalt our own self, man. Because when you exalt yourself, guess what happened? This is what happened. 14 and 11. It's a lot.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 11. For whosoever exalted himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
This is how we be exalted in this truth. But guess what? Sometimes it's not being a brother to a brother if I exalt a brother while he in sin. That's not a good way. That's not a good way. We can't do that. We can't play the games like that, man. The Lord say what he say, man. You guess what, man? But guess what? Brothers want somebody to do that, though. Brothers really want the brothers to do that, man, right?
Let me get a precept real quick. Let's go to Proverbs 27 and 2. Right there. Because even like Ox said, you don't want to never praise yourself. You know, that show the type of spirit that's on you.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth.
Uh-huh.
A stranger, and not thine own lips.
So even the Most High God said, hey, let another man or a sister praise you. Don't praise yourself. Because that spirit can easily jump on you, and it's hard to get those spirits up off of you, man. You know, it's hard to get that puffed up spirit off, brothers, man. Hey, we done seen it. Took time, months and months of time, man, to get that spirit up off brothers and sisters. Go ahead, Doc.
Be con on that, man. Let's go to Sirach chapter 6 and verse 18. Sirach chapter 6 and verse 18. You get that out.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 18. My son,
Mm-hmm.
gather instruction from thy youth up,
So the Lord telling us to gather instruction from our youth up, man. Read.
so shalt thou find wisdom to thine old age.
So guess what? That's when we find so we can find wisdom until our old age, right? Read.
Verse 19. Come unto her as one that ploweth
Mm-hmm.
and soweth,
Uh-huh.
and wait for her good fruit.
So guess what, man? It's telling us to come into and just wait. Once we start learning, hey, wait on the Lord to build you up. Don't try to rush the Lord. He gonna give it to you in due season. He gonna give you the understanding. But guess what? How you wait for it, you keep the commandments, you keep reading, you keep studying, and then start putting it on. Guess what? Ain't now plant grew to the full extent overnight. No. It had to have sunlight, it had to have water, it had to have time to grow. And brothers and sisters don't want to give themselves time to grow. Guess what they want? They want it right now. I got to have it right now.
They want instant gratification, man.
For real. And it's not going to work, man. But read on. Watch this, though.
Verse 19. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruit.
And wait for her good fruits. Read.
For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her,
Uh-huh.
but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon.
Uh-huh. Because guess what? You're going to eat of her fruits right soon. When it's time. When it's time for you to eat of them fruits, you're going to eat it right soon, man. Verse 21. But this is, verse 20.
She is very unpleasant to the unlearned.
Man, read that again.
She is very unpleasant to the unlearned.
When you don't want to wait on God to give you your wisdom, it's going to always be unpleasant to the unlearned. People want it right now. If you don't wait on it, it's going to be pleasant to the unlearned. Just like a brother and sister, they going through their relationship and their marriages. If you not waiting on the Lord and you go about doing your own will, guess what? It's going to be unpleasant whatever happens to you on that situation. To the unlearned, you're going to have to take what it's going to go to. That's why brothers and sisters got to stay grounded, because if you don't, you get yourself in trouble, man, with the Most High, man. Read that out.
He that is without understanding will not remain with her.
So guess what? When you doubt understanding, you're not going to remain in that, man. Right? Read on.
She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial.
Because the wisdom is going to lie upon you as a mighty stone, man. Right? Read.
And he will cast her from him, ere it be long.
So guess what? If this wisdom taking too long for this food, he going to cast his wisdom. Oh, no, it's too long. Yeah. Because some brothers ain't got enough patience to wait for it. Some sisters ain't got enough patience to wait for it. I got to do this right now. I got to have this right now, man. Hey.
And that's what that mighty stone of trial is going into. One aspect of it, lacking patience. Because we know certain brothers and sisters, like we say, we want that thing instant. You know, we live in a world of, at the drop of a dime, things happening instantly. You know, and the Most High God is literally doing this to do what? To prepare us for these things, man. These things take time, man, to get in order. Sister spirits, brother spirits, because like we say, whether we want it or not, Most High God is building men up to be leaders. You know, it is what it is, and it takes some time to get to that level. But that's the level that brothers should be striving for, though.
That's right. Jump over Sirach chapter 8, verse 8.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 8 and verse 8. Despise not the discourse of the wise.
So guess what? It says, despise not the discourse. It's going into leadership giving. Guess what? Have to bring correction. Or one of the brothers got to bring correction. Or sister got to bring correction to another sister, whatever. Despise not the discourse of the wise, man. Read.
but acquaint thyself with their proverbs.
But acquaint thyself with their proverbs, man. Somebody giving you good instructions on, hey, brother, don't do it. We done seen brothers and sisters what happened to them in this truth. We done seen brothers and sisters go that route. Don't do it. Guess what? Brothers and sisters, go do it. Thank you, man. Tell them don't do it. He said, acquaint thyself with their proverbs, right? Read.
For of them thou shalt learn instruction,
Read.
and how to serve great men with ease.
And how, because guess what, man? This is going into this Bible, man. Our forefathers is teaching us through their lesson. This goes into Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. Right? Do everybody know what Romans 15 and 4 says? Let's go there right quick. Their eyes kind of dropped a little bit. Like I was going to call on somebody. 15 and 4.
This is the book of Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
These things written for our learning, read.
That we through patience.
Through what?
Through patience.
First patience, read.
And comfort.
Read.
Of the scriptures might have hope.
This is how we have hope. This is how we make it through the storms that we go through, right? This is our life, and we gonna walk in it, man. Right? Let's go back to Sirach chapter 8 and verse 9, man.
This is the book of Sirach chapter 8 and verse 9. Miss not the discourse of the elders.
So he's saying, miss not the discourse of the elders, man. Read.
For they also learn of their fathers.
And we learned of our forefathers too in this Bible. They giving us, that's just the same thing Romans 15 and 4 is going into, man. Right? We also learn. Guess what? We also learn from other leaders that was in Israel that we got right now. We learning from them. We learn a lot from them. But guess what? We learning what to do and what not to do too. Right? Read on.
And of them thou shalt learn understanding.
And of them thou shalt learn understanding, read.
And to give answer as needed, as need requires.
So guess what? Each one is teaching one, man. The Most High God is trickling down more and more knowledge from one person to give it to another person, to give it to more people, to give it to more people, so we all can grow, man, as this tender plant for the Most High God, right?
You get a precept, huh?
Go ahead,
Go to Sirach 21 and 15. Verse 8 was, and despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs, man. Don't despise the wisdom of what, like in counsel, like you said. Because you can take that, and we done seen it. We done seen brothers and sisters get out of counsel. Oh man, y'all straight on me. Yeah, because you need it. Oh, y'all weren't even talking to my wife. Yeah. Because you the man. Because you the leader. All right, read this out.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 15. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it.
Yeah, brothers, y'all right, man. I see the precept. Not what you're talking about, but what you're actually bringing out in the scriptures. Yeah, I see that. I see that. I comply to that. Right? Read on.
And add unto it.
But also add unto it. Yeah, I got you. I got another precept to comply with that thing. Understand it. And let you know that I really get what you're bringing out. Read on.
But as soon as one of no understanding heareth
Yeah,
it,
y'all straight on me. Y'all ain't know her. Read on.
it displeaseth him, and he casted it behind his back.
Although it might be true. It might. And we know scriptures say what they say. But now you don't want to hear that. That's not what you want to hear. Like I said, brothers go to counsel all the time, but you really didn't want to hear, you really didn't want to hear what the scriptures were going to say about you in that situation. Now you throw it behind your back. Oh, no, that's not the counsel I was looking for. Well, who gets counsel that they want? Nobody gets counsel that they want. You get counsel that you need. That's what Abel is saying. We give them what they need. If you read verse 10, kill them not the coals of a sinner, lest I be burnt with the flame of his fire. And we got to give you what you want, because that'll end up and put you deeper into a worse situation. It's going to give you what you need.
That's right.
Go ahead, huh?
Because like you say, like even if brothers just get into counseling, you be like, yeah, you was all over me. Because guess what? You the one that was doing it. You supposed to be built up more than that. Now you acting like, well, like you say, that's the woman that you gave me. No. The Lord gave you straight commandments. No, it's got to go to the source. Why would we go to the body and the way to kill it, the head?
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't go to the head. We don't go to the body. We don't go to the head. And sometimes, guess what? Guess what? We will go to the body. We need to correct the body. Then we go right back to the head again. You know how boxers do. Hey, what it is? You go to the body. Guess what? You open that head up. Hey, this is how it works, right? Go to Psalm chapter 119 and verse 11, man. Because once you get this instruction, go what the Lord said you're supposed to do, man. Not just get it and cast it behind your back. No, the Lord said you're supposed to get this and do something with it. Right? Psalm chapter 119 and verse 10.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 10. With my whole heart have I sought thee. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments.
So guess what, man? Don't get the counsel, don't get the instruction from the precepts and wonder about going away. No, wonder in these commandments, right? Read on.
Thy word have I hid in my heart.
Read that again, huh?
Thy word have I hid in mine heart.
Don't grab the word and cast it behind your back. Grab the word and put it in your heart, man. That means, guess what? Put it in your mind. Meditate on this mug. That's why I said wonder on. It said, "Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments." Don't think about nothing else. Don't. Yeah, hey. If brothers is going through if you're going through any brothers is coming in counsel, first thing in your mind should be thinking about precepts. Let me see what kind of precept they're gonna bring me. See if they're gonna bring me some instruction on how to build.
Right.
This is how brothers should be thinking. Don't go on. You should never go into counsel. Oh man, I'm gonna see what they're gonna say, man. Dang, I'm gonna go into counsel again. Yeah. That's going all the way off. Brothers and sisters should love wanting to get in some counsel. Brothers going through the scriptures, helping you build to get your family in order, to get your life in order for the kingdom. Why not?
Counsel good, man. Tell me.
That's crazy, man.
Set up a counsel just because, man, just to make sure we good.
That's right, man.
Counsel soon, yeah, man. Let's get it going.
Read verse 11 again, huh?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 11. Thy word have I hid in mine heart, that I might not sin against thee.
So this is why we hide the words, and then guess what? We get the understanding of the scripture. Put it in your mind, so we won't be going into sin, man. Read.
Blessed art thou, O Lord. Teach me thy
He
statutes.
said, "Teach us the statutes." This is how brothers and sisters be thinking. The Lord, teach me your statutes, man. Read.
With my lips have I declared all the judgments of thy mouth.
Read.
I have rejoiced in the way of thy testimonies, as much as in all riches.
So guess what? This is in all riches of the world. This is how much we supposed to be rejoicing in God's words coming out, man. Read on.
I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways.
So guess what, man? When scriptures and everything coming out, we need to be meditating on these precepts, man. And respecting the way that God has, not that we have. Once we get this wrapped in our mind, guess what, man? This is how we learn to have good works, man. Titus chapter 3 and verse 14, man. This is how we learn, man. We're supposed to be getting ourselves together, trying to make it to the kingdom. If brothers and sisters ain't striving to make it to the kingdom, then what the hell are we in this truth for? I don't understand it. What are we in this truth? What do we want out of our God? They say, what do you want from a nigga, huh? For real. What do we want from our God if we ain't trying to get no understanding, man? Read that out.
What you want?
Titus 3 and 14.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 3, verse 14. And let ours also learn to maintain good works for necessary uses, that they be not unfruitful.
So guess what? What we supposed to be doing is let ours learn to maintain good work for necessary use. This is what this was talking about Apollos and Zenas, but this right here, and this right here goes in a little deeper aspect into this right now. He said, let us learn to maintain good works for necessary use. This is what it's about. Because guess what? We learn in the scriptures, wipe out of order, bam, get the scripture, put them back in order. Guess what? Sisters out of the order, bam, scriptures, put me back in order. But when scriptures stop meaning something to one party, guess what? You do your part as you're supposed to. Simple as that. It's the only thing. That's why the Lord say what he say. That's why I'm glad he used Apollos, because it's the same thing he was telling Apollos. Guess what? Apollos watered, Paul was planted, Paul watered, but the Lord bring the increase, right? I'm glad the Lord used Apollos, and it's just to give a background on how this thing go, man. Because we all want to be God's friend. Out of everybody friend in the world, you want to be God's friend, don't you, man? And this is how we become his friend, man. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. This is how we become God's friend. Because I know I want to be a friend of God. I don't know about y'all. But hey, I love all y'all, but I'd rather be God's friend than for all y'all be my friend in here at once. I can promise you that. Let me be God's friend first, man. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7, man. Start at verse 13.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 13. I learn diligently and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches, for she is a treasure unto men that never fail it, which they that use become the friends of God.
Read that again, because this is what we need to. Hey, we're gonna read this again. Verse 13. We're gonna read down.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 13. I learn diligently and do communicate her liberally.
This is going into wisdom. This is asking God to help us in our situation, asking God to lead us and guide us, asking God to keep us on the right path. This is the wisdom that God given us, and actually, guess what? In keeping the commandments, right? He said, I learned diligently and do communicate her liberally, man. Read.
I do not hide her riches.
And guess what? Brothers and sisters that hide their riches, hide their fringes,
hide their talents,
hide their understanding. How can I hide my understanding from my wife? How do I hide my understanding from my wife? Me not keeping the commandments. Me not doing what I'm supposed to do. How can
and you not teaching her?
And guess what? First and foremost, and you not teaching her. This is how you hide it.
Real quick, Sirach 20 and 30. Wisdom that is hid and treasure that is hoarded up, what profit is in them both, man? What's in that profit if you got the wisdom but you won't show your household, man? You got the knowledge and wisdom, you won't teach your wife. You won't show your children. What's that going to profit you?
For real. Big con on that, man. Verse 14.
Verse 14. For she is a treasure unto men that never fail it.
So the wisdom that God has, is a treasure to men that never fail it, man. Read.
Which they that use become the friends of God.
But if you use God's wisdom, you become the man. That's what I'd rather do, man. Rather use God's wisdom so I can become his friend. I want to be a friend of God. I don't know how y'all. Guess what, man? We say what a friend you have in Jesus. They ain't got no friend. They ain't trying to use no wisdom. They ain't got a name trying to have. They ain't have no wisdom. What they trying to do? They want to see lullaby, just as a song. They just talking. Right? Read.
Being commended for the gifts that come from learning.
Well, I'm talking about this. It said being commended from the gifts that come from learning. Because that's what wisdom do. Wisdom teaches us. Grace teaches us. Faith teaches us. Guess what? The scriptures teaches us, man. We learn after learn after learn, right? Go to 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 11, man. Last little spiel. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 11. This is going into King David, man. Everybody know King David was the Most High God's friend. He was man after God's own heart, man. 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 11. When you get there, I'll just read. And watch how King David, watch how the Most High God did with King David as he learned, right?
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17 and verse 11. When Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistine, they were dismayed and greatly afraid.
Because the Philistines were kicking Israel butt because they were scared. They were some big people, man. Right? Read on.
Now David was the son of that Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse. And he had 8 sons. And this man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. And the 3 eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle. And the names of his 3 sons that went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn, and next unto him Abinadab, and the third Shammah. And David was the youngest, and the 3 eldest followed Saul.
Read on.
But David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem.
So guess what? David's job was that his father gave him was him for him to feed the sheep, right? That's all. That's what David's job was. But read on.
Verse 16. And the Philistine drew near morning and evening and presented himself 40 days.
So guess what? In 40 days, guess what? They had Israel in this race. All the rest of his brothers, they went out with Saul and everything. They ready to go fight the war with them. But all of them was so afraid of the Philistines, right? Because they had this big champion named who? Goliath, right? But read on.
And Jesse said unto David his son, take now for the brethren an ephah for this parched corn, and these 10 loaves, and run to the camp to thy brother, and carry these 10 cheeses unto the captain of unto their thousands, and look how thy brethren fare, and take their pledge.
So guess what, man? He told King David, look, go over there and get this food, man. Take it over here to them, man, while they at war, man. Guess what King David's doing? He doing what's commanded of him. Right? God giving him what's commanded of him, right? But read on.
Now Saul and they and all the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Philistines.
Fighting with the Philistines, read.
And David rose up early in the morning and left the sheep with a keeper.
So he rose up there, and guess what? He neglect his job. He neglect his job. That's what he did. Now I'm going to put somebody in place because my daddy told me to go over there and do this right quick. But I got my job to do over here. He still didn't neglect his job. Look, this is how, hey, brothers break this thing down into how we supposed to be in this truth. Hey, look at what the Lord presented in front of us. We learning from our fathers, right? Let's go.
And took and went as Jesse had commanded him.
Read.
And he came to the trench.
Read.
As the host was going forth to the fight, and shouted for the battle.
Read.
For Israel and the Philistines had put the battle in array, army against army. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage.
And so David left his hand. He said, "So hey, they were finna get ready in battle." So David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper. Right? Read.
And ran into the army and came and saluted his brethren.
So guess what? David started saluting his brother because they were finna get ready in battle. But read on.
And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gad, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words. And David heard them.
And who heard him?
And David heard
them. David heard him, man. He was talking all that big noise. David heard him, though. Watch this. Jump down to verse 34.
Verse 34. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock.
So guess what, man? All the brothers, they was, and everybody and all the people that was ready to battle, they was scared of Goliath. Right? They was straight scared of Goliath. So David said, let me go up there, man. And he can explain why he ready to go up there, right? But read on.
Verse 35, and I went out after him and smote him.
Read.
And delivered it out of his mouth.
Read.
And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard
read.
And smote him and slew him.
And David killed him, right? Read.
Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he had defiled the armies of the living God.
So guess what, man? King David had the heart to do the work, man. Don't give a damn what you put in front of him. He ready to get. Hey, he ready to do it. Whether it was keeping sheep, guess what? Or whether it was destroying anything that came upon our nation, man. And this is how brothers' mindset be thinking, man. Whether you here is supposed to be feeding the flock, or whether we gonna destroy these strongholds that's against our people, guess what? Or whether we got to defend this gospel, man. We got to be stand fast, ready to do the work, man, in season and not season. Guess what? I don't care for the smallest things and stuff that's happening in the building. Brothers and sisters should be standing up ready to do the work, man. Right? Read.
David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he would deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine.
So you already know King Saul tried to give him some armor and try to give him all of this. That ain't what King David needs. He ready to do the work. I already got everything I need. I'm built up to do what I'm supposed to do, right? Jump down to verse 48.
Verse 48. And it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine.
So David ran towards the army to meet the Philistine. Not just Goliath. He ran towards the army, man. Right, read.
And David put his hand in his bag,
Mm-hmm.
and took thence a stone, and slang it, and smote the Philistine in his forehead,
Uh-huh.
that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth.
Uh-huh. Read up.
So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no sword in the hand of
There
David.
was no sword in the hand of David, man. Right, read.
Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine, and took his sword, and drew it out of the sheath thereof,
Mm-hmm.
and slew him,
And he slew him with his own sword, man. Read.
and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled.
So guess what, man? They had just made Israel run all them times, man. But a person, a little young boy, come up, doing the work every time they was asking David to do stuff. Even Saul himself, when he had an evil spirit on him, what did King David do? He went and got an instrument and he played the evil spirit off of him. Always abounded, always ready to do the work. So when he was called, the Most High God did what? He exalted King David to go do the work, man. This is how learning increases ourselves. When it's time to, guess what? Everything that you're supposed to do, step up and do the damn work. And guess what? It wasn't no back and forth and action back and forth. Well, I don't think I should. No. He was ready to do the work at all costs, man. Because guess what? He know he wasn't doing the work just for himself. He was doing it for who? For the Most High God first, and for who else? For the nation, man. And this is how everybody learning increase. When we get our mindset to start thinking that we doing it for the nation, guess what, man? That's how the Most High God exalts us, man. Right? 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 6, man. Last precept. This is how the Most High God exalts us, man. When we get ready to do the work, guess what, man? Let's step into this thing and start doing the work, man. Don't sit on our hands and hide your talents, because we know what happened when the person sit on their hands and hide their talents. What happened? He gonna take your talent and give it to somebody else. Right? And that ain't what we want. Read that. 1 Peter 5 and 6.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 6. Humble yourselves before the Salaki. Humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time.
So guess what, man? In due time, when your time is coming, the Lord gonna exalt whoever he exalt, man, in due time. That's why we humble ourselves, man, before God, man. We want to make sure we be on the right path, man, because guess what, man? You be calling for them prayers, man, to get answered. And guess what? God not hearing them prayers, because guess what? When it was time, when you supposed to be keeping these commandments, you didn't do it. See, like you said, for real. When I called, none did answer, right? For real. Read that.
Verse 7. Casting all your care upon him.
So guess what? When we going through our trials and tribulation, what are we supposed to be doing? Casting our cares upon him. We go through stuff all the time. Right? Read.
For he careth for you.
Because he cared for you. Read on.
Be sober.
Be what?
Be vigilant.
Be vigilant. Read.
Because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion,
Read.
walketh about seeking whom he may devour.
So guess what, man? That's the reason why the Lord told us to watch and pray. That's why he told us, because guess what? He want us to be what? Sober-minded. Always thinking in sobriety. Have a sober train of thought. Right? This is our lot. This is what we got to pick up. This is what we got to do, man. We got to make sure that we increase our learning. Because we know Revelation 1 and 3 says what, brother? Bless the man that read it. This is why we do it. Because we read, we study, we get ourselves in the Most High God's understanding, man. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for tuning in. Like and share the video. Help us push the truth around the four corners of the earth. We said follow God's law, statutes, and commandments. Y'all got us a law.
Let's go to Exodus 23 and 24.
We know we got what coming up. What we got coming up?
We're going to speak all at once.
For real.
What got coming up?
Say it again, Junior.
New moon coming up.
Junior.
Atonement.
Tabernacle coming up, but
Tabernacle coming up. What else we got?
Atonement. Say atonement.
Atonement. What else?
You got
Trumpets.
Memorial blowing the trumpet. Just like y'all learn Christmas, y'all better learn this, man.
memorial blowing.
You don't like Christmas? That's good. Because guess what? We got our own. What we got? Feast of dedication. That's right.
Yeah, tabernacle.
Tabernacles.
We got tabernacle.
Everybody else is shirt, man. Tabernacles at the bottom of tabernacles.
Tabernacle.
Tabernacle. Read it up.
Exodus 23 and 24.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 24. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images.
So that's what we're doing on a daily basis. We're trying to break down these images, these strongholds that the so-called white man and other nations have put upon us. We're trying to actually do. We're not trying to serve them. Said we can't serve them, man. We out here trying to show our nation the greatness that we had. It's just been lost, and we're trying to bring it back to the nation. The greatness of our nation, man. Read that one more time. Man.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 24. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods.
So no, like you said, no Christmas, no Easter, no none of that, man. Boy, you something else. Read on.
Nor serve them, nor do after their works.
Nor do after their works, man. We trying to cut out of that stuff, man. We're not worried about what they talking about. Oh, well, you make the most money on Saturday. Well, we gonna respect the Sabbath. We're not gonna do after their work. Read on.
But thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images.
And that's what we're doing. We're breaking down their images each and every day. We are overthrowing their images and their disguises each and every day. That's it.
Well, it was a good precept right there. That was a good law. Why was the Lord, before we get ready to leave, why was the Lord telling us not to bow down to their images and all of that? Huh? That's a good one. Because the Lord gave them gods too. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 19, right quick. Me and Brother KJV went over this one night.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 19. And least thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun,
When they see the sun,
and the moon,
and the moon,
and the stars,
and the stars,
even all the host of heaven,
and all the host of heaven, read,
shouldest be driven to worship them,
should be driven to worship them, read,
and serve them,
and serve them.
which the Lord thy God had divided unto all nations under the whole heaven.
Did y'all catch that?
Yeah.
He gave all them, he divided that stuff to them, but to us, he gave us what? Him.
Right.
We got the real God. They got the sun, the moon, the stars, astrology, all that. No, we got the real God, man.
That's for Brother Jay Myers, man. Just reach out to leadership, because we could give you precepts. Brothers just asking about the chart, the 12 tribes chart. Brothers can give you precepts on those things. You know, just reach out to leadership.
First of all, is he an Israelite?
Yeah, he's from the tribe of Levi.
Oh, okay then. You must want to watch this Melchizedek class. With that, with that, we say, we get any other question? With that, we say shalom.